Hello,
There we
I'm
go.
Marino, the principal investigator for the Teleports project at the University of Central Florida. I, along with my colleagues, Trey Vasquez and Lisa Deeker, are the PIs of Project Teleports. And two of our students are going to be joining me today, Tahnee Wilder and Ashley Grays, to talk about a new map that we're working out that will hopefully help the teacher recruitment issue. We have a disclaimer we must give at the beginning. So the contents of this presentation were developed by the presenters for the OSEP conference. However, the contents don't necessarily represent the Department of Education's policies. Here's the problem we're trying to solve. We know that 98% of school districts in the country are reporting a nationwide teacher deficit related to special education. I was just on the phone with a teacher yesterday from Wyoming who told me they are offering $25,000 bonuses to people who will start as a special education teacher, and they still cannot get people to come and work for them. So this is clearly a problem. The problem is even more intensive if you look at people from marginalized populations like educators of color, and we know that they are not equally representative of the students of color in our schools. So when we think about our framework, OSEP's framework for recruiting teachers, our map is really targeted at the attract phase. So what we're trying to do is make it easy for teachers to learn about special education certification programs and then to find one that's going to work for them.
All right, so some institutions are already working towards this solution. And what we have here for you is a visual representation of the institutions across the country. Of the 2,000 higher education institutions, 965 of them are MSIs, or minority serving institutions. That's what we're going to focus on for the duration of this presentation. And so represented on the map by these dots, you have the yellow dots representing the institutions in the West, the blue dots representing the institutions in the Midwest, the green dots are representing the institutions in the Northeast, and the red dots are representing the institutions in the South. And these are the schools that have special education teacher preparation programs. And so first up, we have historically Black colleges and universities. There are 102 HBCUs in the country, and they represent just 3% of the higher education institutions, but they serve 16% of African-American students enrolled in higher education. They also award 24% of all baccalaureate degrees earned by African-Americans. And so you can see that represented here for you on the map. These are the 36 HBCUs that offer special education teacher preparation programs. And so on the map, you'll see the red dots. They're scattered across the South. There's one institution that is in the Midwest and just a few in the Northeast that are also represented here. Next up, we have TCUs, or tribal colleges and universities, and these serve the needs of the indigenous people. These schools are typically located in geographically isolated communities where they don't have access to education beyond high school, so they're very vital to the communities. And you can see that we have one TCU that offers a special education teacher preparation program, and that one is represented by that blue dot in the Midwest. Next up, we have Asian American and Pacific Islander serving institutions. This is one of the fastest growing populations in the United States. It's estimated that by 2050, the population will double. So it's critical that we have representation in our special education teachers. And you can see on the map that there are a small scattering across the United States in each of the regions. Finally, we have Hispanic serving institutions. There are 274 of these institutions that meet that criteria, and they have at least 25% full-time Hispanic undergraduate students. HSIs are critical to diversifying the workforce because they serve 40% of all Hispanic American students enrolled in higher education. And that's represented here for you on the map. We have 107 institutions. You can see that they are mostly scattered across the West and the South, with a few in the Midwest and the Northeast. All right, and next up, I'm going to introduce Tahnee Wilder, who will take it from here and show you all the interactive map.
Hi, thank you, Ashley. So if you're wondering how we produce the mapped images of the special education institutions, I'd like to formally introduce Project RAISE that is currently housed on the Tony Jennings website at UCF. And so Project RISE is an interactive map supported by reliable data and is an open source to all who are interested in collaborating and exploring data regarding special education teacher preparation programs. A QR code will be provided at the end of the presentation for you to explore, visualize data, and answer some of your own research questions. And so here you will see that the QR code will take you to this the launch page for Project RISE. And as we scroll down, you will see that you can choose 3 different profiles. We also invite you to explore and engage in another OSEP technology demonstration that is concurrent with this one. And that is entitled An Interactive Map to Support Special Education Teacher Recruitment. And in that presentation, they will provide more in-depth details about each user profile, the drop-down menus and the overall technical logistics to customize the data for your research report. But for the purposes of this demonstration, we are going to focus on this profile here, which states, I am interested in higher education or policy related to special education. So we will click on that and it will pop up another website that will take you to the interactive map itself. And so at the top, you will see your profile where it states, are you a policymaker or faculty in an educator preparation program? Details a little bit more. On the left-hand side of the page, you will see a video demonstrating how to use the map. And on the right side, you will see directions on how you would use the interactive map. That includes selecting your options, viewing separate matches, learning more about the programs, as well as a data dictionary. As you scroll down, you will see the different drop-down menus that include organization type, which overview private, public, and non-IHE or Institute of Higher Education programs, as well as the format, online or in person, MSI, populations, regions such as Southwest, Northeast, etc. You can filter the institutions by state, as well as locale. For the purposes of this demonstration, we will look at all of the MSI institutions and we will explore HSI institutions. On the right-hand side of the interactive portion, you can go to map or the table. We will click on go to map. As you hover over the institutions, you will see the tooltips that provide information as far as zip code, cost of living, tuition, and state of the institution name. You can then go back to users, and I will specify a little bit more and click on Florida because I want to see all of the HSIs in Florida. I will hover, select the university, select my interested university, go to the top right, and it will take me to the page. And so now I will kick it over to Dr. Marino.
Thanks, Tahnee. It took hours of work to get to this point where we actually have a map that can be used by anyone out there who's interested in becoming a special education teacher and be able to look at types of programs, have a link to the program, know what it's going to cost for tuition. But we are concerned that we've missed something. We'd appreciate it if you would go and look at the map and look at your local school and see if it is in fact accurately represented. If it's not, you can click on the tabs, and those are in the yellow circles. That will provide you with an opportunity to help us make the map better. The QR code is right there. And on behalf of all of us on the Teleports team, I would like to say thank you, and we hope that you found this to be a useful presentation.